Hi and welcome to Honeybee Stamps. My name is Alexandra and I blog over at Hedgehog Hollow. Today I am here for my first design team post. I will be here every Saturday with some kind of YouTube tutorial to teach you tips, tricks, hacks, all sorts of fun things to use with your honeybee stamps and to make those crafty budgets go further. Today we're going to be painting on black and we're going to be adding lots of glitter and bling. So let's get started with our tutorial. So this was my sample and we're going to follow it reasonably to the letter, but we're going to do maybe something slightly different in the middle here just to give it a little bit more shimmer and make it glimmer a little bit more. But first of all we need to make our Zen border, and our Zen stamp is actually just a straight floral. So I'm going to show you how to create this as a border around your card. So to do that I have a piece of my black Artagain drawing paper. All the links for anything I use in the video will be in the description below. You may need to click an arrow around about down here where my finger was if you're watching on a mobile device, or if you're watching on a desktop it'll just be underneath the video. So everything will be linked up there, and there is a blog post on my blog Hedgehog Hollow that you can also check out, which will have more details and lots of pictures in it. So I'm going to use my Misti because the Misti makes it so easy to do this. I'm going to show you the first corner and then I'll speed it up while I do the others. And I also, what you'll see is once my stamp is sticky, I don't want to get that Versamark anywhere else. So when I'm lining it up, I just put a piece of window sheet in there so that it protects my paper. And all that window sheet is the backing off of your stamps when they come in the packet. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to mask corner to corner, and I love this TAMIYA masking it's called, and it is actually used for things like airfix and things like that, but it is great because it doesn't affect your paper. When you peel it off, I have never had any issues with it. Now my piece is a little bit short, so I'm just going to put an extension on it just to make sure, because what you want to do is mask corner to corner. So I'm going to line this piece up here and just extend it out. So I'm masking from this corner to this corner because that's where I want to stamp. And then I'm just going to put it up against here, and this time I'll grab a longer piece. And we can reuse these as we move around. We don't need a new piece each time. Maybe I've got a little bit too long this time. We've gone from one extreme to the other. But we're going to go from this corner to this corner. So we're going to stamp in here first of all, and I'll just tear this off. Okay, so we had a bit of an issue with sound. So what I am doing here is I am taking the piece, I'm popping it into the Misti with those two corners taped down, and I'm going to use a Misti corner for the magnets. Just because it's a little bit stronger than just using the individuals. Now this is the Zen Florals, and I played around a little bit just to find the right place to pop it along each border, and you'll see me do that later as well. So I kind of move it left and right depending where I want the flowers centered on each piece there. So then we'll close up the lid of the Misti and pick up the stamps. And I did slightly move around the cardstock, but that's okay. So I just checked where the stamp was going to come down to, and you want to be quite generous with your powder tool there as well. And we'll just ink it up. I'm using the Versamark ink because we're going to heat emboss with white embossing powder. And you want to stamp that down, and I'm going to stamp it down a couple of times. First of all, it's pretty difficult to see on the black, and then just in one of those corners, that bottom right hand corner just really wasn't adhering to, for me exactly how I wanted it to. So I stamped it down 3 times. You may not need to be that vigorous, but that was what I did. So I'm going to fast forward through the next bit, which is me doing the other 3 corners, but you can see exactly the same process as I am doing here. ready to colour in our piece, and it's worth saying do not heat emboss in your Misti unless you have one of these Teflon mats underneath. I will link up the Teflon mat tutorial in your Misti, which is a Hedgehog Hollow one, as well, and if I can I'll try out the YouTube card, so you may well find it's in the top right hand corner now, so you can bookmark it for later. But now we're going to paint our piece, and I'm going to use these Finetec iridescent colours. Now they don't look like much until you put them onto black cardstock. And what I do is, just because they don't show up particularly well when you're just like this, I take the box and I just pop it in the tray here, because it tells me there's, I'll move this forward for a second, gold, golden copper, light purple, amethyst, sapphire and jade green. So it just makes it easier to work out which is which. And I'm going to prep them all using my dropper bottle. Again, all links will be there. And I just put a drop of colour in each one, which allows the paints just to start dissolving in that little bit of water so that I'm ready to paint. I'm going to use one of my goat's hair paint brushes. That's one of my favourites. I also have my clean water, and then I have my rinse well, which I'm just sliding over here. This is my favourite tool for watercolouring because it has this bottle, which you can just kind of see this here, and that's full of clean water, and this is my well. So when my well gets dirty, I can push the plug, it all drains into this underneath here, which I can empty out, and it refills with clean water. So super awesome tool for watercolouring. Again, all the links will be below for you. So I'm going to fast forward through this, and I'm just going to paint in all of those lovely resist areas. We are ready to assemble our card. Look at that stunning colouring that you get with those Finetec iridescents. Definitely worth checking them out. All of the Finetec palettes are stunning. This one really works well on black, and of course the others work on black and also white cardstock. I'll link up a video that is my swatch book where I show you the different palettes as well. If you are looking to invest in some watercolours, we go through a range of them. So let's mount our card. I've added some foam tape on the back side. And this is my favourite, the 3M foam tape. I buy that big roll and it will last you forever. So this is just a Nina Solar White 110 card base. It's half of 8.5 by 11, and I'm just going to stick down our black panel on top. I also cut out, using the Honeybee Hello, using the dies, I cut out some white cardstock with adhesive on either side, and I've added some super fine glitter to it. If you're looking to make some of your own, again, we have lots of videos on that and we can show you how. So I'm just peeling off the adhesive on the back side here. And try not to get too much glitter everywhere, but I have to say my room looks a little bit like a fairy tale, I think, with all the glitter everywhere. And I'm just, sorry if that goes into the microphone, just trying to blow that off there. So I'm going to start just layering this down. I'm going to start with my H at one end, like that. And there's a little bit of white I'll pick out in a second. And I'm going to remove my nail very carefully and try to remove this as well. This is the only downside with such sticky adhesive. Whilst it sticks your glitter, it gets everywhere. I'm going to use my tonic craft pick, and I'm just going to pick out that white section from the middle here so that that is gone. I'm just running my pick around so that I can get a good handle on it and try and pull it out. There we go. And you can also use your tweezers just to get in there as well, because these things happen when we're crafting. There's a little bit of brown in there. And this is just because I have cut through so many layers. So that's it, and I'll just take my craft pick, make sure there's no other little bits. Craft pick is a great tool if you're looking for something that's all, but look at all of that sparkle. And there's some sparkle over the card, but we love sparkles, so we're going to leave it there. So the next thing is I want to add a few sequins just to add even more sparkle, and Honeybee has some lovely sequin collections. Now when I apply sequins, I tend to use either a glue dot or a micro brush for smaller ones, but I'm going to use some glue dots because these are a good size of sequins. Oop, lost that one. And I will definitely be linking up all of those lovely sequin collections at Honeybee for you under the video. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you all about the ways you can look for us. So be sure to check out Honeybee Stamps on Instagram. Lots of sneak peeks and all the design team post over there. We have a social media team that post there. They post on the Honeybee Stamps Facebook page, and they also post on Instagram and Google Plus if you are on there too. Now you can find me at Hedgehog Hollow, so we are hedgehoghollow.co.uk. We're at Hedgehog Hollow on Instagram, and we are youtube.com/hedgehoghollow. So make sure you hop on over there and subscribe as well. We use Honeybee stamps all the time in our posts because there's some fabulous sentiments that work really nicely, as well as some great tutorials on Misti corners using Honeybee's stamps as well. So also subscribe to the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel that we're on right now, and we will see you there. I'm going to be here weekly on the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel with tutorials. Next week we are going to have a YouTube live on one of the new release sets. So there we go. So I've added my sequins, you could see there. Love these tweezers for working with sequins. And I think actually it might just want one more. I'm just going to pick a pink one just in that corner. Oh, and we got a green one with it, so we'll use both. Let's just pick up our pink again, because I just think pink in that corner will look nice. And when you just spot these sequins down, they adhere to those glue dots really nicely, so you can just pick them up like this. And where do we want another one? I'm going to put it in there. So we have some extras, but that's fine. So we've got lots and lots of shimmer, lots of glitter, all that kind of fun stuff. We've done some watercoloring, and we've shown you how to mask those corners of your card so that you can use any strip stamp to create this fun kind of border. So thanks for joining us today. Make sure you click subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. We'd also love a comment on your favorite technique you have seen here today. See you again soon. Happy stamping. Bye.